Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Diwalog. I hope you all are doing well and feeling all festive up. Now for today's video, I'm going to be sharing a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial with you all, and this is going to be easy, beginner friendly, super customizable and extremely long lasting. So this is perfect for the festive season. I want to go back to basics and actually talk about makeup techniques and how to make makeup work for you rather than you working hard on your makeup, and this tutorial is going to be exactly that. If you're confused about how to get your makeup going for this festive season, then you've landed on the right video. So without any further ado, if you want to know how you can get this easy glam look going for this festive season, then please keep on watching. I'm going to start off with some prep work, and honestly I have to say that prepping your skin is not a question. You have to do it. There is no way your makeup is going to look good if your skin is not well prepped, and a well prepped skin will also mean longer lasting makeup. So as I said, it's not a question. We gotta do what we gotta do. So today I'm going to be using my PhD 3% Niacinamide oil free moisturizer. Now this is great for all skin types. It has a beautiful lightweight texture that's not heavy or greasy on the skin whatsoever. So even if you have oily skin type, you can use it. I know a lot of time oily skin girls just skip out on skin prep because you feel like you're producing oil by yourself, but trust me, a good moisturizer will take you a very long way. And just look at how quickly that just works into the skin. It doesn't feel heavy or goopy on the skin, and it just ensures your skin is nicely moisturized throughout the day. I'm also going to give my under eyes a nice little massage to ensure that all of my fine lines are well moisturized as well, so that they will not appear as quickly as they would if they weren't, because your under eyes are the driest part of your face. So I'm just massaging my eyes, and I'm also going to give my face a quick little massage, and you should too because you deserve it. Now before moving on to my base makeup, I'm going to give my moisturizer some time to just seep into my skin, settle down so that nothing slips or slides away. A lot of times your makeup will slide away if you have freshly applied moisturizer and then you go in with makeup, because it hasn't really gotten the time to get absorbed into your skin and it's just sitting topically on the skin. And of course, because it is an emollient, it will ensure that everything just like goes away from your face. So till the time my moisturizer is getting worked into my skin, I'm going to moisturize my lips, and I have my K Beauty lip oil with me right here. I really like this lip oil. It's a very nice lip oil. Again, it's not heavy or goopy whatsoever, and it really moisturizes my lips nicely. Now of course, prepping your lips is as important as prepping your skin, because our lips can get dry super quickly. So applying a lip oil or a nice thick lip balm before doing your makeup, like giving it half an hour or an hour, is going to be crucial in making your lips look luscious and juicy and not dry and cracky. Now I'm going to move on to priming my skin, and I know a lot of people have doubts regarding primers, about their efficacy, are they even needed and whatnot. So let me break it down for you, because I want this to be one video that you can watch and get all of your doubts cleared. Basically, I feel like there are certain primers that are not really needed. For example, say maybe a moisturizing primer, because a moisturizer can do that same job for you. But there are certain other niche primers that you need special products for example pore filling, or maybe say a gripping primer, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today as well. I'm using my Sheglam Good Grip Primer. Now this is a tacky primer that's a bang on due for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, but I actually prefer Sheglam a little bit more because this also gives me some glow. The Hydro Grip is super matte on my skin, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this. You don't want a lot because this can pill up on your skin very quickly, and that's not something that we're looking for. And I'm just going to warm it up in between my fingers first, and then I'm going to spread it out evenly on my skin first, and then I'm going to go in with small tiny taps on my skin to activate this primer. You need to activate a tacky primer, otherwise it won't have stickiness. So just do tiny little taps, and I'm also going to concentrate a little bit more on the areas that makeup tends to slip and slide away from the quickest. So that for me is around my nose area and around my smile lines, where I emote a lot, and also underneath my eyes. I really want my makeup to stick in these parts. Now if you have multiple issues to take care of, you can go for multiple primers. By that what I mean is, if you have open pores and you also want your makeup to last long, you can use two different primers. So say a pore filling primer in the areas that you have most amount of pores, and then a tacky primer on the other areas to make sure your makeup just lasts long. This will definitely depend on what your skin issues are. If you want something that's moisturizing and pore filling, you will make a combination accordingly. So make your combination according to your skin type, your preference and your requirements. Now I'm going to be doing things a little differently today, and I'm going to start off by taking a concealer that's slightly deeper than my skin tone and has some orangey yellow undertones to it. Now why I'm taking this is because I want to cancel out my hyperpigmentation, because I'm not going to be concealing after foundation. I'm going to be doing this underneath my foundation, and then I'll cover this up with my foundation, but this will just cancel off all of the hyperpigmentation. So as you can see, this has quite an orange undertone. You can also use a color corrector if you prefer that. If you have a lot of hyperpigmentation to be taken care of, then you can use a color corrector as well. That's just again going to be something that you'll have to decide for yourself. And I'm also going to apply it to some areas that I feel have little bumps, jumps, and all of those sort of things. I'm also going to cover up my mustache area because just like most women, mine is pigmented as well. And once I'm happy with the amount of concealer I need and the areas that I need it in, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to start tapping this down. Again, you don't want to move it around because we have a tacky primer underneath. You just want to tap it and blend it out in place. And also because you want to keep it in that place. This is not a highlighting concealer that you can just blend out till your cheekbone or whatever, but this is a color corrector that you want to stay in places where you need the color correction. So this will instantly even out my skin a lot, so my foundation doesn't have to do a lot of work. I don't have to, use a lot of concealer, crazy amount of concealer to just cover up everything. This will just make sure that my foundation can look much more natural and my face can feel more weightless because I wouldn't have to layer too many products up. So I'm just making sure I color correct everything, cancel all of the hyperpigmentation out, and then we'll move on to my foundation. For my foundation today, I'm using my MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and I have been obsessed with this one. This is a newer reformulated version that's so much more lighter, thinner, and gorgeous in the finish as well. And again, one more thing, before you go in with your foundation, give your concealer some time, or your color corrector, whatever it is that you applied, give it some time to set itself down so that it's not going to move once you apply your foundation, or it's not going to mix in too much. If you have really oily skin type, what you can do at this point is apply a little bit of loose powder on top of your color corrector so that it can settle down, it won't move or budge, and your makeup would be extra long lasting as well. But I'm just going to go in with my foundation because I have dry skin type and I really don't need to set it that much. And I'm going to take about a pump and a half. You don't need a lot of this foundation. A little bit goes a long way. It doesn't have as much coverage as the normal Studio Fix Fluid has, the one that's like a little thicker and more fuller coverage. This one is lighter on the coverage and just looks gorgeous on the skin. And if you're wondering about the shade that I'm using, it is C3.5, which matches me like a beauty. And I'm just going to first again dot this all over my face. I'm just making sure that I have a nice thin layer all over my face. You don't want to go in and load your brush completely like that and then go onto your face, because that would ensure that you have a lot of foundation in one patch and not a lot on the other. And while not having a lot on one side is still fine, having a lot of foundation in one patch is going to make sure you will have to blend for really long and then move it around a lot. So just make sure that you have a nice thin layer all over your face, so you just can go in with tiny little taps. Again, because of the primer and the color corrector and everything, tapping is what we are looking at. So I'm just gonna first of all clean my finger on my brush so I don't have any foundation on my finger, and then I can just pick up whatever's remaining on my hand as well, and then I'm going to start tapping this onto my face. Again, we are going in with tapping motions to ensure that our foundation doesn't move anything from underneath as well, and my primer can also really latch onto the foundation nicely. And you can see everything is blending out nicely because the skin was well prepped, the primer is really set, the concealer is not really moving, and the amount of lightweight coverage that you want is going to be exactly there. It's going to look beautiful, feel lightweight, and that's exactly what we're going for this festive season. Now we will be setting all of this down with powder, but before we do that, I'm going to be doing my other cream product steps as well. So I have my Rare Beauty bronzer, and I love this bronzer stick so much. It's so creamy and so easy to blend, and this color just works for me. It looks beautiful on the skin and it's just very beginner friendly as well. The money is a little higher with this one, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so worth it in my opinion. But if you want to spend a little lesser, then Love Child by Masaba also has a stick bronzer that's very similar. I did compare the two of these, so you can try that one out as well. And then I'm just using my brush and blending all of this out. Now honestly, you can also blend all of this out with your finger if you prefer that. If you don't have a lot of brushes and you just want something that's easy to work with, you can let me show you. You can easily just blend it in with your finger as well. It's very creamy and very easy to blend. Now we bronze our skin to add some life and color back to our face. Once you even out your face with the foundation, it can look very flat and your features can look not so well defined. So bronzer just adds some color and definition to your face. If you want extra definition, you can also go in with a contour, which is going to be slightly cooler toned, but bronzer has more warm undertones to it that just adds a lot of life back to your face as well. And once I'm done blending my bronzer, I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush. Now this step takes only 10 to 15 seconds, but it makes a world of a difference. I'm just going to stipple it around the area where my bronzer is meeting my foundation to ensure there are no harsh lines and everything is nicely blended out. Now the places that you apply your bronzer to are also very strategic. So we generally go on the areas where you naturally tend to form shadows. That's going to be like your cheekbones, or where sun tends to hit you naturally the quickest. These are going to be the areas that are going to be slightly above your face plane. So if this is your face, there are areas that are above, like protruding, like your nose, like your chin, like your forehead. So all of those areas, I have a lot of detailed videos on how to bronze, how to contour. You can check all of those out. I just want this to be a more beginner friendly video with little details about everything. So once you have, stippled and blended out everything, this just looks so much more seamless. There are no harsh lines, and that's exactly what we are going for. Now it's time to blush up my face and really get some color back to it. And I'm going to be using my Swiss Beauty Dew It Up blush, and I have the shade Dusty Pink, which is a cooler toned blush. Now you guys know I love my warm tone blushes because that goes really well with my skin, but because I'm wearing an outfit that has a lot of cooler undertones today, that's why I'm using a cooler undertone blush as well. If you have way too many clashing undertones in your outfit and your makeup, it might not just sit well together. So try to decide an undertone depending on what you're wearing. If you're wearing a neutral undertone, you can wear whatever undertone that you prefer. Now I generally, as I said, prefer more warmer tone blushes because they just bring some life back to my skin, but today we're using a cooler undertone blush, and this is going to work beautifully as well. So what I like to do with highly pigmented blushes like these that are in a liquid form, I just like to take them on my fingers. Now earlier I used to do like a whole thing on the back and then pick it up and whatnot, but I sort of realized that that leads to a lot of wastage. So now what I do is I just rub it in between my fingers, like the two fingers, and this just makes sure that the blush is evenly spread out and we don't have any blotchiness going on. And then I just go on my cheeks and I start to apply this and blend it out. And don't worry, this shears out a little bit, and we are going to be doing the same trick we did for our bronzer with our foundation brush to ensure everything is nice and seamless. So just blend it out and trust the process. And now all of the cream steps are done, so I'm going to be powdering my face down to ensure nothing smudges, budges or moves, because we want this to be super long lasting. And I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder. Now as the name suggests, this also gives you a little bit of glow, which is so appreciated because the last thing you want is to look dry and crepey because of a powder after doing so much skin prep and whatnot, and then to just end up looking dry because you used a very mattifying powder is literally what my worst nightmare is made of. And I'm going to be using it with the brush that I did my concealer with. Honestly, I just tried this one random day when I couldn't find my powder brush, and I've been obsessed, especially because this is like a semi-dense brush that's very tiny as well. It gets into the nooks and crannies and really sets everything down. And I don't know if it's like the fact that it also has some concealer in there or what, but it just works so well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this powder on the back of my cap just to have something to have it in there, and you don't need a lot, just a little bit, because you don't want to over powder your face. Then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to swirl it in here to ensure that I have a nice even coating of powder. Again, I don't want it to be in just one patch, I want it to be all over the brush. Then I'm going to look up and I'm just going to press this down. We are pressing everything down, so we are of course going to be pressing the powder down as well, because we always used to press our powder down. We don't want to move anything around, and this just smoothens out my under eyes so much, so instantly, and it mattifies them down while also giving them some sort of luminosity that I absolutely love. And I'm also going to be setting down my fine lines because I've said it a million times. I talk a lot, I emote a lot, so my smile lines tend to crease the quickest. So I need to set them down to ensure they're slightly longer lasting. And if you have oily skin type, feel free to give your whole face a little dusting of powder right now so that it can be extremely long lasting. But for me, just powdering these areas work really well. And now to make my makeup even longer lasting than what it already is, I'm going to use my Infallible 3-second setting mist by L'Oreal. Basically, this will ensure your makeup will not move all day, all night. It will only move from your face when you remove it, because this is like a hairspray. It's so sticky, so tacky, it will just stick everything on and keep it there. But before I mist my face down, I'm actually going to take a spoolie, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush my brow hair upward and slightly in the opposite direction. Now I have really stubborn brow hair, and no matter what I use for a hold, like a glue or just a gel, nothing just makes my brow hair stay upright. But again, this is something that I randomly discovered because this works like a hairspray. Just brushing my brow hair upward means that I can get a little extra hold in them when I'm filling them in, so that they will stay a little voluminous and puffy. So I just like to brush them on almost in the opposite direction, because again, if I brush them just front like that, they will fall flat really quickly. So I brush them in the opposite direction, and I know it might look a little crazy right now, but makeup is all about trusting the process. You got to trust the process right here. If you have stubborn brow hair, or if you just want to skip a step of doing a brow gel or something, then you can do this step instead, wherein you just brush your brow hair wherever you want them to be, or slightly like over exaggerated like I have done, and then take your setting mist and just spray your face down, spray your brows down, and hope that you don't die because of ingesting this spray. Another thing that you can do is just spray your spoolie with this mist so that it has the nice amount of mist going on, and then brush your brow hair. This will also ensure that your brow hair will stick wherever you want them to stick. It's a very, very good hack to follow, especially for the festive season, especially if you have brow hair like mine that do not listen to you at all. Now I'm gonna go in with my ColourPop brow pencil, and honestly there's nothing special that's gonna be happening here. I'm just gonna fill in the sparse gaps of my brows to ensure there's some color there and I don't have any bald spots like I have one right here. And I'm just gonna be filling all of that in. But if you've done the face mist hack on your brows, you want to ensure it's completely dry, because if it's wet, your brow hair will fall flat. And even when you are doing this, there are chances that your brow hair will fall flat. So all you want to do is just get some glue or get your hairspray again, and then just set them down so they stay in place. So I'm just going to be drawing a line right where I want my brows to start, then going in with the spoolie and then just brushing it upwards to get hair-like strokes and just getting a nice lighter filled in effect in the front of my brow. And then wherever I need to have some areas that need to be touched up, I'm going in with a very, very light hand to ensure that my brows, don't look bald. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. And again, I'm just going to be spooling it out constantly to know how much I need and how much I need to take off as well. Spooling really blends everything out, so you know exactly where you need to fill in a little bit more or maybe not go as heavy as you are going right now. And again, as I said, if your brow hair fall flat, just use a brow gel or the mist once again and set it into place. Now I'm gonna do the simplest eye look ever. This is the eye look that I always fall back upon when I don't know what to do, and all you're gonna need is a colored Kajal liner. I'm using one by Parul Garg Beauty. This is in the shade Pankh, and it's actually a metallic liner as well, which is so gorgeous. Her brand is so underrated, I can't even tell you. And this matches my outfit. Now I generally like to either match it completely to my outfit or be a contrasting color on the color wheel option. So what I'm going to do is I'm first just going to line my eyes, and this doesn't need to be perfect at all because we are going to be smudging it out with a flat shader brush. So I'm just going to be smudging it out. Now you can keep it thin or thick according to your liking and preference. I like to keep it semi-thick wherein it looks like a liner but it's not super thin, so that I have some definition to it. And you can also wing it out if you prefer, but today I'm just going to keep it till the end of my eye to get some doe eye effect going on. And I do like to go back into my liner just near my lash line to get a nice ombre of sorts going on, because I like that kind of definition. And then I go back again in with my flat shader brush and I just touch it up slightly to get that nice blend going on. And then I'm going to take my e.l.f. Finest Fleck glitter eyeshadow. You can use any glitter eyeshadow that you prefer. Now because this is a topper shade, it has a little less base pigment, so it's slightly sheerer, and that's exactly the vibe that I'm going for. And I'm going to pick it up on a fluffy blending brush just to sheer it out even more. So I'm going to get a nice coat of this going on, dust off the excess, and then I'm going to slightly tap it all over my eye to get a twinkle going on. And as you can see, it's going on very sheer. So just when you move, you're going to catch the twinkle and it's going to look so beautiful, especially at night time when you have lights shining on you. It's going to look super pretty. And we are going to be touching up our liner once again, but that will also guide us where we want our liner to be. But the liner will be peeking through, the shimmer would be just shimmering, slightly twinkling, and this is literally the easiest and the prettiest eye look you can go for. I'm also going to apply this in my inner corners just to brighten it up a little bit and get some light there. Now I'm going to use the brush with which I blended out my liner, and I'm going to apply just a little bit on my lower lash line, the outer 1/3, only to get some definition in my lower lash line, because I don't want it to be so bare, but I don't want it to be over powdered with the product, and that's why I'm just using whatever's left on it just to get like a nice shadow effect going on. And once that is done, I'm going to move on to my mascara, and I'm using Maybelline the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I really enjoy using this mascara. I'm just going to be coating my top and bottom lashes with it. Now, of course, I am going to be going in with Falsies because I love my falsies, but if you have a mascara that you absolutely love and you feel like gives you an amazing effect, please feel free to skip falsies. I know falsies are not meant for everyone. They are definitely meant for me. They just make me feel complete, okay? I feel better when I apply falsies. That is all I can say. So I'm just going to be applying my mascara first just to like sort of prime and get my lashes ready so that they can adhere to the Falsies and give me extra Vava Voom effect. Now for my lips, I'm gonna keep them slightly neutral with a hint of pink and with cool undertones. So I'm gonna start off with Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Finish Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Frappuccino Nude. So I'm actually gonna be lining my lips with a nude lip liner and then doing a tint that has a hint of pink just to get a nice lip color going on. Hopefully this combo works, and all of my lip oil has been absorbed now. And if you have excess lip oil, just wipe it off so that your lip products can actually go on top really smoothly. So I'm just gonna line and fill in with my lip liner. And now to get that hint of pink, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Superstay Teddy Tint in the shade Endgame. I absolutely love this shade, but I'm not going to be applying it all over. The reason why I have a nude lip liner underneath is to also make my lips very long lasting. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot this tint slightly all over my lips, and then using my finger, I'm just going to smudge it out. I want a very soft, blurry matte lip today, and oh my god, just look at this combo. This color looks stunning. So I'm going to do the same on the upper lip area as well, just dotting it slightly and blending it out. And that's it, guys. This is the final look. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and super customizable as well. Just switch up your kajal color to whatever you prefer, or you can keep it a black or a brown if you just want it to be a neutral look as well. But I'm sure if you try out this look, you will fall in love with it because it's so easy and so long lasting as well. But do let me know if you would want to see more makeup tutorials, and if yes, then what should I talk about next up, because I'm a little confused about what makeup tutorials you guys want to see. So your suggestions would help me out a lot. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you did, then don't forget to comment and subscribe because that would mean the absolute world to me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care. I love you all so much. Mwah. Bye.